All right, what is up, guys? VV back with another video. And today's video, we're going to be looking at one of my matches. This is a match that I took place in a tournament over the weekend, in a case tournament. It was about 30 players deep, and I was piloting Blue Yellow Queen, as you can see here. And we are on the Heart Pirates TCG channel, so definitely check out Joey's channel if you get a chance, and see what's going on there. We have a lot of similar content, being One Piece content creators, and we do know each other in real life. We were both at this tournament, so here we go. I've got it on 2x speed, and so I'm on the left here playing Blue Yellow Queen, and I do go first. And here, let me go fast forward because this is just the Whitebeard player is just shuffling. There we go. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to one Dawn and pass here. That I don't play anything turn one, not even Perona. You shouldn't play on turn one with this deck. It just isn't ideal unless you just could not get a better pull. You want to save your Peronas for later in the game because it helps set up your triggers, your life triggers. Now anyway, so the person I'm playing against on the right, his name is Cody Sutherland, and he is a top 16 finalist in Knoxville playing Whitebeard. And I'm playing against him here. I believe this is the same deck. I could be wrong. And I do apologize for the camera angle. Again, like I said, we couldn't quite get it set up just right, but this is still good enough. We'll make do with what we have here. So I'm going to go ahead and swing 6 here, put a little pressure on or make him trash a card. So I go 6 here at face, and let's see what he does. I have 4 Dawn active, so that telegraphs right away I'm going to play something, like a Sanji. Okay, and I think he just trashed a card, and yep, Sanji comes down. Okay, so we're off to the races here. This is a pretty ideal start for me. The only better start, technically, would probably be something like Dofi instead of Boa Hancock, but maybe not, right? Even maybe Pound or something, but again, probably not, because I don't want to. You don't want to give the Whitebeard player too many life cards or too many cards in life, but you should do it if you have to. Okay, so he swung here. Did I, I'm thinking about taking it. Yep, and I do. So I do take it. No trigger. And, yep, he's going to go ahead and take out. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I got a little sidetracked. So he swung for 6 with the Monkey D. Luffy, and he swung for 6 with the Whitebeard. I countered out a 1, took the other, because I know he's going to try and drop marker this turn, taking out my Boa Hancock. Now, maybe I should, looking back, maybe it would be better to just do that. But then the other option is, if I let him KO my Boa Hancock there, then he actually plays Otama and KOs my Sanji. Right? I feel like that's kind of the way that goes otherwise. Okay. But again, it's kind of one of those things you just have to leave up to chance. Or maybe he doesn't have Marco at all, right? That's the other option. So, all right, so I'm going to try and take out the Luffy here. Because, okay, there's a card sideways. I don't want to swing at the Whitebeard's life. I want to swing at his characters. 9 is kind of a sweet spot here against a 6-cost character, because it's like, are you going to use your Rad Beam right now? Which, hey, looking back, excuse me, he can't use Rad Beam. Rad Beam, because he has more than 2 life. So he can't even use Rad Beam. Are you going to use Guard Point and a 2K to protect this 4-cost character investment? And the answer is no, because he doesn't know what my next play is. And I drop down to Doflamingo, look at the top 5 cards. This is the hardest part about playing Queen, is making sure you get that top search, get your top cards correct in your search. So I do spend a little bit of time doing that, especially one this early in the game, because I don't want to play my Doflamingo this early, but I do have to keep up some blockers. The way One Piece is, even control decks, typically speaking, outside of like a Nami version, you are going to have to spread the board, right? You're going to have to fill up the entire board full of blockers or some kind of bosses, some kind of threats. Okay, so 6K coming in from Marco. Let's see what's going. Okay, so I trashed the 2K counter, and it looks like he's got 8 Dawn active. And he's probably just going to swing, if I remember correctly, I think he just swings 6 more with his leader. Okay, he's thinking hard about this. And again, this is a very good player. This is a player who's gotten top 16 in a regional tournament in Knoxville playing Whitebeard. So I counter out of that. I'm down to 2 cards in hand, 3 cards in life. I've got 2 blockers on the board, and I'm about to be on 9 Dawn. So I'm in a pretty good spot. I'm okay here. And I will say this, I do feel like Blue-Yellow Queen has a pretty favorable matchup in the Whitebeard. Now, yes, I do get some love from the top of the life cards this game. Okay, and he's going to bring down Ace. Here we go. So of course he lowers the cost, or lowers the power of my 2 blockers. And I'm thinking, okay, do I want to take this or do I want to block? And I don't, unfortunately we can't see what's in my hand. We could almost see what was in the Whitebeard's hand, but it looks like I'm going to block this. So, okay, yep, we got him blocked there, and then it's going to be my turn with 1 Dawn active for the Whitebeard. So right here he's asking, I think he's asking, actually, I was going to say, yeah, he is. He's asking what my my leader's effect is. So he's reading that real quick. He's like, oh gosh, you know, is this, because I don't think he had to play against any, or many or any queens, even in Knoxville, even though there was 1 list. Cody's definitely more of a, you know, competitive player. He wants to play in bigger tournaments kind of thing. So, you know, Queen's not exactly the meta, but it is very strong into a lot of different decks. And it's a very versatile deck too. So, okay, I'm going to go up to 9 Dawn here. And I've got 6 cards altogether in my life and hand, 3 in life, 3 in hand. So I can't do any shenanigans with my leader just yet. But I know one thing's for sure. I need to start answering what's on this board. So a Mihawk getting rid of a Luffy, or excuse me, an Ace would be ideal, and that's exactly what happens. And now I can't attack at all, unfortunately, because 6,000 power leader, right? That was all my Dawn. I couldn't swing at the Marca, which I wouldn't do anyway, and I couldn't swing at the leader because you literally just can't. All right, or I guess you could, it just wouldn't do anything. Okay, so now my opponent is up to 10 Dawn. And Whitebeard in this situation is obviously dangerous. We all know what Whitebeard does. But I'm not exactly in a bad place, right? Like I said, I've gotten my Mihawk down. I'm ready to start taking life. Number 1, I want to get triggers from my life. I want to see what I get. Okay, here comes a Zoro. This is the Strawbeard version, obviously. Right here, I think I'm actually bluffing. I've got 2 cards in hand. I say, okay, I'll take it. And we get a Sobbles off the top. So this is why Sobbles is just strictly better than what's it called? Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. 3,000 Worlds. At least for what I'm trying to do with this deck. Now here's where it gets kind of interesting. I'm like, wow, I got 2 Sobbles in a row. And I'm like, okay, do I actually bounce the Zoro back where he can just replay it? And I'm like, you know what? If I do that, he can't play a follow-up Ace. Or does he want to recommit to try and get down the Marco? You see what I'm saying? It was like, okay, I don't want... It's not exactly a great play, but it did 2 major things. Number 1, it slows him down, right? It's going to make him invest Dawn to replay things. It messed up his whole turn in that regard. Number 2, it also got a card out of my hand. You see what I'm saying? So now I don't have to waste Dawn the following turn trying to play that. And notice what I have. I have 2 cards in hand, 1 card in life. I have a 9 cost on the board, so I'm ready to just start gaining life. And we can't see my opponent's life yet, but I think he's getting very close to only having... I think he has 2 cards left in his life. So, okay, so he's going to Otama, and then he's going to Marco the Sanji, which is fine. You know, that basically ate up his entire turn. But now, like I said, he has 1 life card left. So the thing about Sanji, I paused it real quick. He played out Sanji so that he could get momentum at this point in the game. It's like, what are you going to do? Waste time removing my Sanji while I develop bigger pieces? Or are you going to ignore my Sanji for when on my final turn where I draw my last life card, I'm actually going to draw it early with Sanji's effect and swing for 7, you know, basically for nothing, right? For literally for free. And I know that's coming. I know what's going on here. So let me hit play. So it's like, okay, well, I guess in that case, I'm going to play Yamato and KO your Sanji. And then I'm going to gain a life because I'm at 1 life. Now I only have 2 cards left. I'm going to swing 6 at leader, and I'm going to gain another life. So yeah, that was a pretty good turn there. Pretty fair turn, I must say. And he's going to block out, and I'm going to swing 9 at him. Okay, that one, I think he did take that because he knows this turn he's going to take it regardless. But at the same time, okay, one thing we were talking right here, I was like, I probably shouldn't have swung there. But at the same time, maybe you have a Whitebeard in hand, where if I didn't swing there, you'd play Whitebeard and you'd have preserved your life. You know, there's a bunch of different lines of play, a bunch of different possibilities there. I think swinging is probably the safest bet, because are you going to invest Dawn into taking out my Mihawk? Well, bad news, that doesn't really do anything, right? That doesn't actually hurt me because I have a 9k Yamato down. So he's in a tough spot. You know, the Whitebeard player in this situation is in a very, very tough spot. I'm sitting on 3 life. This is the Strawbeard variant of the deck, or the Strawbeard version of the deck. And it looks like we can see he has a Rad Beam, a Zoro, it looks like another 2k Sanji. Too late for that. 2 guard points, it looks like, and it looked like a Seaquake or something earlier. I'm not sure what that was. I'm sorry. Again, I can't really see this camera angle. But at this point, the Whitebeard has no life left. I have 3 life and 2 9k bodies on the board. So, yes, I only have 2 cards in my hand. But again, I know at this point of the game, as long as I can keep drawing my bosses, there's going to be trouble. You know, there's going to be a lot of trouble here. Okay, and he's going to swing 6 at my 6k Mihawk, and I counter out of that. I say, if you want me, you know, in my mind I'm thinking, if you want Mihawk, it's going to cost you, right? Okay, it looks like the camera angle changed just a little bit here. Okay, then he goes in for 6. I'm like, okay, I will take that one. I'll take that one, because it's easier to counter out a 6 than it is to counter out a 7. I was able to get a card out of my hand and eat up one of his attacks. So again, what is he going to do now? He's going to swing 7 with Ace, right? I would assume so. We'll have to see. But Ace is not, you know, how do I say this? I want to take life at this point of the game, because I'm going to gain 1 life every single turn. Every single turn at this point, unless he can remove every one of my characters. So, all right, so he swings 7. I'm like, yep, I will gladly take it. No trigger. And now, next turn, I can for sure, no matter what, gain a life. Right? That's how I'm looking at it. Because I have 2 cards in hand, 2 cards in life, and I'm going to draw 1 card for the turn. So, no matter what it is, I will have a play here. So, I'm going to go, all right, so I'm going in for 9 at, I think at face here. And it looks like he's about to, what's it called? Oh my gosh. Radical Beam. So he Radical Beams. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to throw your guy down. I'm going to swing in for 6, and I'm going to gain a life. I'm going to eat a card every single turn now. And if you want to start eating up my board, you can. That's fine. Because eventually you're not going to be able to, you know, counter out of my, a 15k leader swing, right? Essentially, that's what's going to happen. And I think a lot of players in this point, and no, he does have a Luffy in hand, it looks like. A Luffy, Bad Manners Kit Course, I couldn't see the rest. But one thing about this matchup is I'm in no rush. Especially if I have more gas in hand, like more big beaters in hand, I'm in absolutely no rush. And yeah, he has, like, now he's on the back foot. And we do talk a little bit in the game. He's like, yeah, you're bouncing everything I play. You know, you're dropping these huge boss monsters. I'm in a bad place. And he is, you know, obviously he's talking about it here. Like I said, I can remember the game a little bit. I can't remember everything about it, but that's basically what we're talking about. Like how much of a nuisance these cards are. Because think about this. I mean, I'm up to 3 life now, right? Like my Yamatos are KOing 3 or less, right? Like if he drops down another Zoro, if he drops down any kind of Searcher, I'm just getting a free KO on that now, and fueling my condition to draw more life cards. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I will say this late into the game, remember, I do have this on 2x speed. It's getting to the point in the game now where, like, okay, when did we start? We started all the way back here around 7 minutes, around the 7-minute mark, and now we're up to 33. So, you know, it's getting late in the game. We are starting to get some spectators over, right? It's like, oh, let's see how this game's going. Whoops, okay, I missed it. Hang on, we gotta go back. Okay, so he swings for 7 at the Yamato, who was at 7 because of Otama. Now he's going to swing for 7 at life, and I am going to gladly take this. And we're going to get a Brule trigger off the top. Okay, and then it's my turn. He's sitting on 2 Dawn active. I know he's got 2 guard points. He has to. I know he has a Zoro in hand, because remember I bounced it earlier. So, all right, here we go. I'm moving some Dawn aside. I'm trying to see what I need to do here. And it looks like I want to swing for what is that, 8? Do I want to swing for 8? Let's see what's going. I don't remember what my play is going to be here. Because I have a 9 cost down. Okay, so I'm going to swing 9 at face first. Oh, this is where I was considering just trying to end the game. And so I kind of bluff here, like, okay, I'm going to just end the game right here. I'm gonna divvy up my Dawn. I'm going to swing with, you know, for 8 with Brûlé here. I'm going to swing 8 with Brûlé, 8 with Leader, and 9 with Mihawk. Okay, so I get a 2k out of hand. I'm like, okay, I got what I wanted. That's all I wanted. So now I'm just going to actually Soga King, bounce your Marco, and I draw 2, trash 2, and then I'm going to swing 8 and gain another life because I only had 2 cards in hand and 2 in life. And this position here is basically unwinnable. It's like, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to play out your Marco again? Because that doesn't get to attack this turn. And I'm going to be swinging for 9 and 9 pretty much. Like, it's going to be a slow death at this point, right? It's just death by 1,000 cuts. And, but yeah, this is the position you want to be in as queen. And this is the kind of matchup you want to be against as queen as well, for the most part. Mid-range and control decks, you can deal with very easily. But one thing that I struggled with in the tournament was actually the aggro decks, because I'm a control deck. So obviously aggro decks are going to be hard for me to deal with unless I get a lot of, you know, good luck from my life triggers, or the opposite if they don't get lucky. Okay, so he takes out my Brûlé. I'm like, there is nothing you can do at this point, you know, like in my mind. I'm not saying this out loud, obviously. I'm like, yeah, there's absolutely nothing you can do. Okay, so he plays a chopper, trying to you know, keep the game going. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to keep dropping these fatties. I'm going to swing 6 first. It's going to cost you a card out of hand. And I'm just going to Mihawk your big boy out, the Marco. We'll just get that out of here. I'll swing 6. This time I will not gain life. You know, I'm at 3 life. I guess I won't gain life this time because I can't. And swinging for 6 here hurts. He's only got, I mean, think about it. We know he has a Luffy and a Zoro in hand. I only knew he had a Zoro in hand. Could I have tried to go for game this turn? Yeah, probably. But why would I? Why not just completely ensure the fact that I'm going to win this game? Because, like, and there's Bad Manners Kick Course with Luffy. That's when you know he's in desperate. That was the counter out of a 6k. That was the counter out of a 6k attack. So we know he's in trouble now, right? And I think he just, let me see. I don't remember exactly, but the game is almost over at this point. And yeah, like, what are you going to swing at my Sogi King? Because how are you going to stop my Mihawk next turn and my leader swing? Yep. So he swings at face. I'm like, yep, sure, I'll take it. He was like, I can't do it, man. And that was in my top of my life. It was Katakuri and Mihawk. And good game. Really good game from Cody there. We had a lot of spectators at this point in the game. Because we were both, I think we were both 1-0 or 2-0. I can't remember. I think we were 1-0. So this was to go 2-0. And, but yeah, anyway, so Cody's a great player. This is just a really unfavorable matchup for him, obviously. Like, Queen, and I got some really good triggers from life. And then the rest of the deck operated pretty standard. Like, you know, I run 10 characters that are 8 cost, 9 cost, and 9 cost, right? So it's currently, I'm running 4 Mihawks, 4 Yamatos, and 2 Katakuris. I would like to go 3, 3, and 3, I think, in the future. And maybe just go up something else. Go up 1 card somewhere else. Maybe some type of utility card. Because, okay, in these late games against control and mid-range decks, I'm not really struggling. It's against the aggro decks where I'm really, really hindered. But yeah, and real quick, I want to mention the part where the game basically just ended. I just want to show everybody, like, this is the position you want to be in as a queen player. So let me fast forward a little bit to where it gets to my turn. Notice I have 1 life, right? So right here it looks like, okay, let me pause this. I've got 3 cards in hand and 1 life. At this point in the game, the Whitebeard player is probably feeling okay. Like, okay, this guy's in trouble here if he doesn't have a strong play this turn, right? Well, okay, bad news. I've got a really strong play. I'm at 1 life, and I'm going to KO, you know, the, what's it called? The Sanji. Right, let me see something. Yeah. So I play that. I KO the Sanji. I go up to 2 life. I have 2 cards in hand. 1 Dawn left, swing at leader, gain a life. And that's going to be a card out of your hand, or you're going to lose a life card. And remember, so here's the part where I probably just shouldn't even have swung with the Mihawk. But at the same time, it was fine because he took it, and it made sure that he didn't have a Whitebeard coming. Right, that kind of idea. So anyway, it was at this point right here where the game basically ended, where the only way I could really lose at this point in the game was I would have to have blundered. You know, I would have had to have done something very stupid. And it's not so much a skill issue or anything like that. No, my opponent is an extremely competent, good player. It's really just a matter of how the matchup goes, playing correctly, and then capitalizing, right? Just, you know, getting full potential. So, all right, guys. Well, that was about it. So this tournament went well for me. I did finish top 8, and we did a split in the top 8. It was a little. It was just a little case tournament in where I live. It's a 30-person tournament, and it was a lot of fun. Blue Yellow Queen. I am loving this play style where you just have these huge beaters. I'll actually have the game playing while I'm talking. Having these massive boss monsters or boss characters, whatever, having blockers, gaining life. This is my style of attrition and of control. There's a few other decks I want to play. I want to start playing like Blurple Croc. I saw Chris from the Small Hat Crew made a deck that did really well. I think he was a finalist over in one of the tournaments where he lives. And that Blurple Croc list looked awesome. I mean, it just looked so cool. It looked like so much fun. Excuse me. And it's just like, okay, I love control decks, and that deck seemed like it operated like one, so I definitely want to, you know, give that a go. I definitely want to give that a try soon. But yeah, that's really about it. Oh, and I want to try Purple Yellow Crocodile as well. So Blurple Croc and Purple Yellow Croc. That's probably where I'm going next. And it's not that I've given up on these decks. I do want to stress that. It's like it's not like I'm giving up on Blue Yellow Queen. I just want to try other decks as well. And there's so many new leaders, and there's only so much time in each format. So it really does come down to like, okay, I got to pick and choose my matches wisely kind of thing, right? I got to pick and choose wisely. And unfortunately, this next week, I will not be able to participate in a tournament on Friday, and probably not in the weekend either. I might be able to get a tournament in on Wednesday or Thursday, but I definitely can't on Friday because I have homecoming at the school I teach at. So it's just a little too busy in my life. You know, for anything like that to happen. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I don't have much more to say. If you, as always, if you guys have any comments, you know, please don't be afraid to comment in the comment section below. If you have any, did I miss something? Was there a play mistake somewhere? Yeah, you guys tell me what you think. And if you guys haven't joined the Discord, definitely join the Discord. We're always talking on there now, all kinds of cool stuff. It's becoming a nice little community, pretty nice, friendly community. It feels really nice to see, and to see it grow. And yeah, I think that's about it. So please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.